This is the Two Scrappy Chicks podcast where life is messy, the stories are real, and we dare to talk about it anyway.
Hi, everybody. We are so happy that you decided to join us again today. We did want to start off today with thank you. Uh, because of the events that happened on August 1st this year at the In-N-Out Burger restaurant, the shooting in Twin Falls, Idaho, where I wanted to say thank you to Jordan Salinas for being the civilian citizen that was outside the restaurant that was essentially causing a distraction, keeping the guy pinned down so that he couldn't harm any more people. And what I want to say to that is he has my vote for sexiest man alive. This is what protectors look like, guys. Take notes. I'm very happy and excited that this man did that. You know, he really put himself on the line, really put himself in danger. And I also do want to say thank you, too, to there were two actual off-duty law enforcement officers in the restaurant as well, which I was not aware of. They mentioned one had confronted him, but there were actually two that were in the restaurant. And depending on what you look at, I don't want to say their names and get it wrong. So I'm going to say there's really not a whole lot more information that's come out. There is a timeline. I just feel like at this stage of the game, you know, August 9th, there should be a lot more information. However, with that also being said, I understand it's probably an ongoing active investigation, and there's probably a lot that they can't say. So with that being said, these things happen, and I'm so glad that Jordan Salinas had stepped up because from what I understand about his story is that this is not the first time that he had, I guess, been involved in the active shooter situation. First time he was not armed, and after that he, from what I understand, he basically made a commitment to himself that he was not going to be in that situation and be caught unprepared. So he made it his mission in life to become trained, to practice and he's also done videos. You can go look those up, training videos, so that he would be prepared for a moment such as this. And he was prepared. And yeah, I just want to say that. I was going to also make a comment that I just felt like it was just so interesting to me that the video footage that I had initially seen that was initially coming out was really of just the man that was outside the restaurant with his firearm, with the cowboy hat and the shorts. And they were not showing the person who was actually the one who started this whole incident, who just walked into the restaurant and started, firing at people. And I just found that to be very interesting because I really did think that the guy standing outside was the problem, but it was the guy that they weren't showing that was on the inside. And again, I don't know what the reasons are behind that. One can only speculate, and I always want to try to take the time to look at things and do research from multiple sources because depending on where you look, you're going to get different information. And this is why I don't want to say the officers' names because I don't know if that's being, if that's just confusion with all the cameras and everything that are out there. You think that they'd be able to figure it out, but hey. Who am I? I am not law enforcement. I am armchair quarterbacking at this point. So I'm only going to give you what I can reasonably and comfortably say I have any knowledge about. And I encourage everybody to let your fingers do the walking and go do some research on this. But it's a very interesting situation, and I will at least be following it. I just find it's just, unfortunately, people did not make it out. A lot of people were also injured. I also do feel and know that because of Jordan Salinas's actions, he saved countless lives. So thank you, Jordan Salinas. And that's my rant for this morning.
Yes.
Gonna give credit where credit is due.
Right? Okay. So continue. Chame, chame, chame. from, I don't know, we call it fair weathered friend, that I guess sometimes when you're called out, you just, you don't like it. You don't reply. And like I said, it was my birthday Friday and nothing. Oh, and also nothing from one of the hens. And perhaps maybe the hen listened to
Maybe.
the podcast. And you know what? That's okay. Because I don't want any kind of wishes or anything from them. No, thank you. So, getting to last week's episode, as I said, I did not get birthday wishes, and that's okay. Let them. And nor has this person reached out and checked on my other friend. And I I have no words. I mean, I clearly, in that message I sent her, clearly said what is going on.
Well, I
And
think it's to give people context.
what?
You might want to give people context as to how long you've known this person.
Oh, I've known her since freshman year of high school. So we're gonna have our 40th high school reunion next year. So add 4 years to it. So about 44 years. So majority, like good portion of my life. But this other person, she has known since third grade. So, um, I know we all have our stuff that we go through. And I just listened to a podcast this week. It's Scrubbing In. And she had her co-host was away on vacation. So Becca had her manager slash best friend on, Allie Grant, and Allie Grant had a baby a year ago, so he's now one. But Allie Grant came on and talked about what she went through the pregnancy and after the postpartum and that, and what was helpful that people did for her. And she had said to Becca, you know, just coming over and bringing food and playing like I think they played cards or a board game. She goes, you don't know how much that really helped me. And the same person, Becca, she went and surprised JoJo Fletcher. Now, JoJo Fletcher was a bachelorette, but her and Becca were on the same season of Ben Higgins. So that's how they met and became best friends. JoJo is married to Jordan Rogers, which we talked about Aaron Rodgers, how he made up with his family, but I don't know if he's made up with them yet. But anyway, they live in Puerto Rico. And it wasn't too long ago, Becca said on a podcast how she hasn't even met the baby yet. And I want to say the baby was born in December. So Becca contacted Jordan and arranged to fly there and surprise JoJo. And she walked into the room where JoJo was, said, do you need any help with the baby? And JoJo was just like, oh my God, am I dreaming? So it's cute because now their Facebook group, they're all posting about that really hit everybody. And now they feel, you know, seeing Becca do that, they feel I need to be a better friend. And I thought, wow, that what an effect, you know, Becca had on everyone. Because I, of course, put in there the story of what I experienced. No one has replied to it, but it's amazing. And I mean, I go, oh, it's kind of like I got my answer that that is what you call showing up. That is what you call being a friend, you know?
Yeah, it's not a feeling, it's actions.
Yeah. So, like I said, I know we go through our crap, and I am, you know, I will admit I could be a better friend. But like I got a call and I answered it. I didn't look to see who it was, and at first I thought it was my daughter until I heard, "Girl, where the hell have you been?" And then I was like, "Oh my God. Oops." And it was my friend Grace, and I known her since junior high. And I feel bad because I was gonna see her sometime in the fall because she lives up in Schaumburg, and she knows I hate driving up that far and have the anxiety and stuff. But she also works nights, so it was kind of hard to see her. And then I'm like, "So you still in Illinois?" No. So she moved and is engaged, and I was just like, "Oh my God." So um yeah, I feel bad. Time keeps going by, and like I haven't seen my old two of my old bosses, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get together." You say that and you say that, and I think we need to be more mindful and do it. Schedule something.
And do it. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
People can't say that they're busy. Everybody's busy. But what are
I
your
know.
priorities?
But majority of us, our kids are grown and, in college
Yeah.
or out of the
Yeah.
house. So,
Yeah. See, I feel like at this stage of the game, I have like a whole new lease on life. Like I'm excited. I
hmm
have so many things to look forward to, and I love being single. I love that all my kids are grown. No, I don't have the best relationship with all of them, but I do have a great relationship with a couple of them, especially one, phenomenal. And I think that's all you can really ask for, right? Is that you want people, like you said, you don't want anybody to do something for you out of sheer obligation. Do that thing for me. Be reciprocal. Be kind to me. Think of me because you actually care about me, because you actually care about doing something that would make me happy and not do it just because, oh, it's another day. I better, say happy birthday to her, blah, blah. No, you should really want to do that because that makes you feel good, makes you feel like, you matter in that person's life. And that's not a lot to ask for.
yeah. I have I think it's 606 friends on Facebook. And majority is people I like grew up with and know from school. And about maybe well, maybe about 130 said happy birthday. And I know there's quite a few of them that are going through stuff, but they still like made time to do it. I mean, come on, it doesn't take that long to send out a text and that. And even when someone's going through some stuff, like I read when somebody loses somebody, um, don't send them a text where they have to answer, because if they don't want to answer, you know, then they don't want to, but just thinking of you or, sending them something, it means the world. But don't ask somebody how they're doing, because it's really tough for them to respond with an answer.
Well, just be like, hey, just checking in, just, trying to see how you're doing. I understand that, life happens. Would love to catch up with you. And if you don't hear from that person after maybe 2 or 3 attempts, maybe you just let it go. Because if they can't respond to you at all within a week, a month, 3 months, whatever, they're not really concerned about maintaining a connection with you. And unfortunately, that's a hard thing to come to terms with. That's a bitter pill to swallow. And on the same token, I think you can set yourself free by just saying, I have to let them, and now I have to let me. And that's okay. It's still going to suck. It's still going to be sad. But I think you're going to mitigate, future disappointment by just being like, well, this is just who this person is. I just got to accept it. I can't change them. Can't expect them to be something that they're not. Can't, wish them into making me a priority in their life. They're showing me every day where I fit in their life or I don't fit. That's my personal perspective.
Yes. Yes, and like me, when we had to do the recording, I was like, it's best that we're both. I know it always can't be possible, but when it comes to having a guest, I think it's best we're both, in the same room. And let me tell you that was fun because I love the sign language we were doing to each other.
I, I know.
Because then we're not, I don't know how people do it when they're interviewing somebody, how they not talk over, you know? I'm just really impressed.
I know. Well, and eventually we will have a talkie show where we're going to have our video and everything. But for now, we're keeping everything very minimal, very simple. We're learning the ropes. And I think by us learning this way, which is, obviously harder, right? Because you can't see the person's face to determine if they're going to say something or they want to say something, right? Or if they're ever going to come to a point where you can be like, oh, okay, they're done now, right?
Right?
So I think we're learning very valuable skill sets. I'm very proud of us. I think we're doing a great job.
Yes, yes. We have more downloads than we did on Buzzsprout. So yeah, I like that we moved. But we need more downloads, so keep it coming.
Right. And we appreciate everybody who does listen. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you to all of our loyal listeners. We love you.
Yes. So since this is the birthday episode, wanted to get into birthdays. I mean, I don't know. As we get older, I don't get as excited because now we're closer to 60 than we were 50. And we turned 50 the year before COVID went down.
Mm-hmm.
And um I don't know, it's just I guess it's not the same without my mama. And I cleaned on Friday on my birthday and even yesterday. So today is kind of like my relaxed birthday day. And I had gone upstairs. This was my first house. I had gone upstairs and I was putting cleaner on the counter that I had just got done using in the first bathroom. And then I set it down and then I walked away because I wasn't yet ready to clean that area. I still needed to mop the floor in the other bathroom and then vacuum a bedroom and then mop the hallway. And then I would be in that room. That was the last room that I do. That's my routine. So when I go into the bathroom of that room, the sink is running. And I was like, what the heck? I'm like, there is no way I would have turned on the water and walked away because I didn't even have my sponge. I just put the cleaners in there. I was like, this is freaking weird. And I didn't say it out loud, but was thinking in my head, I wish there was a sign that my mom could give me that she's here. And I don't know how everyone else feels. My husband thinks I turned on the sink and walked away, but I would not do that. I don't need to flood out my customers' homes. Not that the drain was full, it wasn't, but still, I wouldn't do something like that, turn on a sink and walk off. So I'm convinced it was a sign, my mom telling me I'm here. And that's what I'm going to stick to. Is that okay?
Well, you don't need anybody's permission, but I support you 100% in that. I just feel like people who don't understand, that's okay. Let them. We don't have to justify or explain or have them accept it. It's okay. Maybe it's just not for them. So here's the thing. That message was for you. It wasn't for anybody else.
Yeah.
So you believe it because you lived it. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll tell what I know of my birth story. And I'm sure I've talked about this before, but my parents were 47 and my mom had not gotten her period and thought that she was going into menopause. And because, in case you don't know, it's a year. If you don't get it for a year, then you're done. And she went to the doctor. I believe my dad was with her, because she was telling them all what she felt. Now, mind you, she already had given birth to 7 kids prior. So she should have known by now what it feels like to be pregnant. But every pregnancy can be different. And perhaps um, with this one, maybe I know she complained of being tired. So maybe that's what it was. And maybe she wasn't gaining a lot of weight. I mean, I ended up being an 8-pound baby. So somehow I was hidden underneath. And so she goes to the doctor and he's like, well, let's take a pregnancy test. And my mom's like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, well, let's just do it. You never know. And so they did. And then I don't know how they were able to determine, I guess probably asking her when's the last time you had your period. So then when he came back and says, yeah, you're 5 months pregnant, she was like, what? Like, she was like, oh no. And my dad was like, yes, that his swimmers were good. So yeah, but she never like really told me like how else, she felt in that. But I know she did give birth to me naturally. In fact, all 8 of us, that when she was in her 80s, she had to get a hysterectomy because everything was starting to fall, all those, female parts. And she didn't have a name, and I don't know why. She named me what she named me. She just, the nurse was asking her, and my mom says she looks like a ginger. And I'll have to post my baby picture. And I looked like it was a black and white picture. So I looked like I had dark skin. And you know what? I didn't get those genes from my dad because he's Italian. And chubby face and everything, dark black hair. And she says I look like a ginger. And today they call people gingers ones who have red hair. Now, one of my sisters was born with red curly hair, so I don't know why she wasn't named Ginger. But somehow I was named Ginger, and one of my sisters wanted to give me my middle name, and she said Jean. So yeah, Ginger Jean. If that does not sound redneck, then I don't know what does. And we weren't no rednecks. And I think I want to say that they were um happy, you know, for a while, maybe that I was around. And then as we all got older, I don't think they were because they got stuck babysitting me and they didn't like it. And they would make me do things. And if I didn't, they would say, well, we're going to tell on you that you did this, even though I did it. And I was like, okay. Then they would tell me, you're actually found on the doorstep in a basket. Nobody wanted you. And that's a horrible thing to say, especially when you're little. And it's because of that why I did the ancestry test to make sure that it wasn't so much my mom. It was I want to make sure my dad was my dad and everything came back that yeah, I am who I am. But still, I know there's sibling rivalry while they grow up and that my 2 kids fought, but they now they don't. They do things. They should do more things. Because just because my daughter has a son doesn't mean my son shouldn't hang out there, but he's been better about contacting her. So, yeah, that's my birth story and I can't remember if I really had any birthday parties at the house where people came over. I mean, we didn't have a very big house. I do remember my mom, for my birthday, bringing treats. I brought treats to school, and now you can't do that. It's got to be all wrapped. Did you know that?
Yeah, because all the kids now have allergies to everything.
Yeah. So, like nuts, you can't bring anything that has nuts in it. But I do remember going to birthday parties at McDonald's, and I thought that was the greatest. And the cake, and I guess they still have the cake. It's not advertised, but I guess they still do have the cake. So I don't know. I may check it out. But my favorite would to get the 31 flavors ice cream cake. That was the best. Did you ever have ice cream cake from 31 flavors?
Heck yeah. Had to stop getting them because the people that were buying it just kind of went to heck in a handbasket after a while. Like I get it, they're franchises, but depending on the franchise that you go to, it was getting to be, more miss than hits. So we just stopped getting the ice cream cakes. And you know what? It's really fun to make your own. But you're talking about cake. Don't we all love Costco cakes?
Yes.
Oh, love their freaking cakes.
Yes, especially Little Ragu. His Costco cake was a 10-inch white frosting, white cake, and in the middle, oh, the sides were sprinkled with graham crackers, and maybe it had the cheesecake filling on the sides, maybe, but the inside did. It was like, I think they called it a cheesecake mousse cake. Oh my God, was that good? Just a little piece. That's all that did it. So yeah, and the price, amazing compared to anywhere else. You didn't need anything fancy. So let's see. Back to birthdays. High school. I don't know if they still do this, but for us who were had birthdays in the summer, we missed out. So when it was your half birthday, so mine was February 7th. All my friends, um, one would do balloons, one would do cupcakes, another one would do cookies, another one would do a cake. And I mean, our lockers were small, so you literally walked around to each class with all that. And one of my classes, it was actually my homeroom too. He kicked me out of class because he said I was a distraction because people were asking for cookies and cupcakes and stuff. So he kicked me out of class. So I went down to Par. That's what they called the cafeteria. That's where you would go if you had that on your schedule, Par. So I went and hung out there and shared my goodies with whoever was down there. And but yeah, but that was fun. I don't know if they still do that. Do you remember that?
Boy, do I. I came to Maine West in the middle of the year, and I met initially um, Kim and Tammy, and they just kind of took me under their wing. They were so nice to me. And I came in December, and do you know, just for knowing me a few weeks, because my birthday is in January, it's the first week of January, they brought me cakes and cookies and stuff like that. Can you believe that? And we went over to their house, and Kim's little sister double pierced my ear in Tammy's basement.
Tracy?
Yes, with an ice cube and a sewing needle.
Oh my God, that's
And
funny.
it was just so much fun being in that group. And people may not know that, you and I really weren't very close. We shared some classes and everything, but you kind of had your separate close clique group. And not that you didn't hang around with us or, do things with us. I think that I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it was like some of us did things together over here, and some of us did things over here, depending on who we were super close with, which is the people that you're talking about, that that you've known forever and a day, 44 years. And I'll tell you about the birthdays. I remember going to Tammy's house, and I don't know whose birthday it was, but we were making brownies, and they made the best. Tammy did. She made the best buttercream frosting. Because I was just like, I'll help with the brownies, but you have to make the frosting. It was, don't know how they did it, but they did it. And I just remember being over there, and and her sister being there, her little brother, mom and dad were usually around. Now dad worked at the school, so we saw him around quite a bit. And you talk about the birthdays. I have very fond memories of that. And you're right, they did the half birthdays for the people that had their birthdays in the summer. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I miss that. Oh, and presents. We gave presents too. So yeah, that was the best of high school. I think when we went to high school from 83 to 87, those are the best years. Let's see. So the next
And then
birthday.
we
What?
would go to, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I also want
Yeah.
to say, remember we used to go to McCreevy's?
Yes.
Because some of us worked at McDonald's, some of us worked at Burger King, but on Saturdays, we would go to McGreevy's and hang out and go. It was a juice bar. You had to be under 21 to go. We would go there and we would have the best time. And the world is a very different place today. I'm so sad about that. But when we went there was never one violent incident. There was never a point where you felt unsafe. Did you ever feel unsafe there or threatened by anyone at any point?
No.
No. And the guys that we hung out with I always felt like when we were with them, they had our back, no matter what. And like I said, I have my solo and sovereign. I think people might think, oh, she just doesn't like men. No, I love men. I love great men. I've had the best relationships in terms of friendships that I've really had up and recently were with guys. Like I'm going to do another shout out to Marcus, and Husto. If you hear this, you got to contact us because I would love to have you on the show. Ginger, these two would make me laugh so hard my sides would hurt. We just had so much dang fun together, and we would go to McGreevy's, and we would just do all these. Yes, we cut school a lot, a lot. But I do feel like you that those years, and I don't know how many people look fondly back on their high school years, but I think culturally those were great years, and I think that's what you're referring to too, right?
Yeah. I think of that song by Billy Squire. I think it was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where it's like these are the best times of our lives. That was a good song.
Yep, yep.
Even our music
No,
was awesome because I'm
it
sorry,
was.
you
It
could
was.
actually hear the lyrics.
Yes, good beat, good music. And people at that point were still because we came out of the '70s. Were with real talent, real singers, real musicians, real songwriters. And I feel like that really carried into the '80s too. At least it sure felt that way. Very original music, very different vibe from all the different bands. And it was just so much fun. I mean, yeah, obviously when you're a teenager, you're going through shit, but I just feel like overall and culturally, music, even politically, I just feel like it was just such a good time, a much better time than obviously what crap we've been living through for the past.
Yeah. Oh, so my 21st birthday, and it's funny, you somewhat remember this person. So whenever we all turned 21, we would bar hop. And we were at Lime Ricky's. We would call it Slime Ricky's. And that was like the border of Des Plaines, Niles. And I remember going there and being told, hey, this is for your birthday. And it was a shot. It was a silk panty, I think it was called. and it was Roosevelt Burns. And how we knew them, or I'm sorry, how we knew him is you worked at Polk Brothers, I worked at Merchants. We were um joined by the warehouse in between because Polk Brothers sold the merchandise. We did the delivery. And he did the delivery for I think it was Spring Mattress. And yeah, but I thought that was sweet that he came there and, you know, joined us for a little bit and bought me a shot. I got in my lifetime, I can say I've probably gotten drunk, like totally drunk, maybe 3 times. Um, one of the times was at my Christmas party where my sister worked, and we were dancing on the table. And then I go into work Monday and I walk through the lunchroom and the guys all start like tapping on the table, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I did not live that down." And I can't remember the other time, but my 21st birthday, I got so drunk that I had to puke, and I grabbed Angel and dragged her with me, and she's like, "What is with this dragging me in the bathroom?" And I threw up. Like as soon as I shut the door, I turned around and I threw up. And she's like, "You okay?" And I like got some cold water splashed on my face. I go, "Yeah, let's go back out." And I went back to drinking. And I went home with her and I was passed out on her couch. And I have this picture she took of me because I woke up of her laughing and I was in my clothes from the night before too. And my mouth was open, and that's why she was laughing because she took a picture of me. And I have that picture. I'll have to find it. But yeah, and really like it wasn't, I mean, that was 21, so it really wasn't much longer after that. I unfortunately met the donor and yeah, my drinking days were over because somebody had to be, well, I was pregnant and somebody had to be the responsible adult. But still, that was a good time. But yeah, I like as of now, I can't tell you when's the last time I had a drink. I just, certain things give me headaches. I don't like headaches. I used to love wine, but the headaches, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I don't like alcohol at all either. I don't drink at all. Don't like the way it tastes, don't like the way it makes me feel. So I have probably, and probably the only person that can give this story is that I have never been drunk in my entire life. Not once.
Hmm.
Had no interest, have no interest. I can't tell you the last. I mean, if I had a drink, it would be like a like a hard seltzer.
Hmm.
And I don't even think I finished that. I just don't like the way it tastes. Like for me to have a drink, it would have to be something like pina colada, where it's really sweet.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Well,
not interested.
well, you know what I'm noticing? I think it's like become a trend. People are not drinking like they do. They're into the mocktails now.
Yeah, yeah. It's just not
So,
necessary. Not
yeah.
necessary. But you know what? Let them. To each their
Yes.
own. Go ahead.
Yes. So I got some nice gifts. My sister-in-law sent me a necklace, and like there was no like thing in there because you can send with when it's a present, you can send a little piece of paper saying, happy birthday and all that so they know who it's from. And I took a picture, send it to you. I go, "Oh, did you send this?" She goes, "No, that's not what I sent." I said, "Really?" So then I thought, "Oh, maybe somebody else sent it." So she's like, "Hold on." So she checks, and sure enough, that was from her, but it was supposed to be something else. So she said, "Hey, they said keep it." And I'm like, okay." So finally yesterday, the right one came, and it's a cross. I don't like gold, so I'm glad that she remembered that. So it's a cross. I believe it's sterling silver, and it says faith going down in it. and she has one and my mother-in-law has one. So now I feel like I'm in the group. You know what I mean?
Yes. You've been initiated.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Um, that that's a family that shows up that
Yeah,
I
doesn't
lacked.
take much, right?
Yes, that
And
I
let's touch on that too, because there's also a thing too, which is interesting, is that, the people that have the biggest issue with you, especially if you don't do what they think you should be doing, you know what I mean? Like they're probably expecting you to contact them, right? To be like you were before, wishing them a happy birthday, checking in with them. And then if you don't do that, you're the problem. But if they don't reciprocate in the same way, they don't see that as a problem. So I just think everyone has to make their own decisions on who they want in their life, especially as we get older. So weren't we talking about that earlier? That, as you get older, you just are less tolerant of people's bullshit, right?
yes, yes. And I know you called me out on stuff I'm fixated on, and I'm just like, just freaking let it go. You're not going to change it. You observed it. Nothing you say or do will change it. You observed it. Just let it go. Move on. But it just
Well, and I
bothers
told you
me.
I used to I used to be that way too. And one of the things that helped me, and I don't think I was see, and I didn't see it as fixating, but it is because you're stuck on it and you're kind of ruminating. You're kind of circling around this issue and you're kind of not figuring out why, because we do have expectations for people. And I think that book, the Let Them Theory, really does say, like, and people try to misconstrue it and say, oh, so you're trying to say that people can do whatever they want to. They're going to do whatever they want to you anyway, sunshine and roses. You can't, the point is you can't control them. You can't change them. So you have to then make a determination because whatever they're doing, they're going to do anyway. So you have to let them in the sense that you got to let it go. You're going to set yourself free that way. And then you look at yourself and you say, okay, I am upset about this or I am hurt about this. Got to figure out why. And then take that and be like, I can't change them. I can go to bed with a clear conscience every night. I feel I have done everything I could to be a good friend, mother, daughter, sister, whatever the case may be. And if they don't value me or appreciate me now, I'm not going to give them any more of what they already don't value and appreciate. So that's fine. You do you, boo boo. I'm going over here. I'm going to do me. And don't cry to me, Argentina, when you realize that you lost a good friend, mother, daughter, sister, whatever. And I want you to feel the same way. It's empowering. It's not like you're trying to be harsh or cold. You're trying to come, I think, to an understanding and realization that it's not a reflection on who you are or what you could have done differently. Because it takes two people to have a relationship. And that's where I think the fixation comes in because you're kind of ruminating. Well, I've done this and I did that. And, you know, we used to have this great relationship and all these things. But we also talked about this too. Remember how people have certain behaviors that they've done before and we've accepted it, right? Because we just like, well, I'm going to accept them, good with the bad, it's fine. And I did not know until recently that there was a certain person with a certain situation that's repeating itself. So that's just who that person is. It's no reflection on you, or even it may not even have any reflection on how that person feels about you. That's just who they are. And that's where the let them thing comes in. Because obviously you can't control what someone else does, thinks or says. However, you do and can control your immediate circle and who interacts with you and how you either accept that behavior or don't accept that behavior, because that's going to be then on you. Don't you think so?
Yes. Yes, I do. So much. I'm trying to think there was any I can't think. Memorable birthdays. How about maybe the first birthday? I think I was turning 31, and that was right after the divorce. That was a good birthday. 50 was good. Like I said, it was before COVID. I didn't have like as an adult, I have not had big like parties. And I don't know. It's just not my thing. Maybe maybe for the 60th, we'll get a sponsored birthday party by then,
See,
right?
and that's where we're going to differ a little bit because I would rather do things like go travel. Like, don't have a party for me. Let's go travel. Let's go swimming. Let's go in the ocean. Let's go. Let's go ride horses. Let's go do something exciting. I mean, yes, not that you don't want to have a party or have people think about you in that sense, but yeah, have a nice dinner, have some cake, but then do something exciting, do something adventurous.
Yes. Let- Let's go do it. Um, and there
We can
was
repatriate back to Italy and find a little villa, and we'll go there.
yes, because their food's better than here. All right. Well, that wraps up the birthday. And there was something else I wanted to say, and I was going to say it at the end, and now I can't remember. Should have wrote it down. But oh, let's talk about the sleepy podcaster. Um, yeah, I am guilty of a couple of my reality podcasts that I put out of falling asleep. And I can't remember, there was one last week where I literally fell asleep and went right into dreamland and woke up. So there was probably a couple moments of silence, and I was saying stuff that just did not make sense. So please, when you listen, that is me falling asleep and waking up and being like, okay, what? And then trying to find my spot on my notes. So don't worry, I'm okay. I'm probably maybe doing too much, but it's what I do. That's just how I roll. But I'll try to be better and not fall asleep and be the sleeping podcaster.
Goals.
Right? Only me. Hey, I'm getting downloads, so I must be doing something right. I'm entertaining somebody.
Yeah. And
All
there
right.
can always be more.
Well, I think that will about do it. What do you think?
That's it. I think we're good.
Okay. Well, be a good human, and we can all, we may think that we're being a good friend, but I think we can all be a better friend. And if you haven't heard from somebody, check on them. I know I
Yeah,
have
because
a
what
list.
was that thing that I posted the other day is that you can never do a kindness too soon because you don't know how soon it's going to be too late.
Yes, I like that. Okay. Well, as always, like, subscribe, download, although some of these apps you don't necessarily, because I was looking at, how does it count? And they say download is for when you want to listen to it offline and not use your internet, or if you're on your phone, you don't want to use up
Right.
your
Right.
5G there. But if you just go on and hit play, it still counts. So you don't necessarily always have to download. Download is good for like me. With cleaning, I download. And do I listen to my own podcast? Yes, I do, because it's a
Yep.
good learning tool where I can improve. So yeah, and join our group. We have a Facebook group, and then we have a podcast Facebook page. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. We have Solo and Sovereign. That's on TikTok. Are you on Instagram?
Not for solo and sovereign.
Okay, just TikTok.
Right. I mean, I share it on there, but yeah, that's it's I post it everywhere on my all my platforms.
Okay.
And we still have a book giveaway. So if you want a free book, the Aware book,
Yes, time is ticking.
Time is ticking.
We need to give a book away. All right. Well, till next week. And be sure to listen to our other podcasts throughout the week. Anything else? We got it all?
We got it.
All right. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, hi. Ginger here. I did remember. I did have something else to say. The most important part of my birthday was when my phone rang. And I thought it was my daughter I was going to be talking to, and I didn't hear anything, and I'm like, hello, hello. And then I hear this cute little voice of my grandson, happy birthday. And it was just the best. That was the best birthday present, is getting that from him. I just love that little guy. So yeah, that was the best. That's all I needed was his little voice saying happy birthday. And he just learned how to say that for his birthday a couple days before. So yeah, I just love the little ragu. So, okay, that was it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, download, and share it with a friend. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, just let us know.